My mind is so spectacular. Open up your aperture. You don't like the light that I be shining, bitch. You Dracula. Southern draw vernacular. Flip you like a spatula. Knew that I was built to put this word up on my scapula. I've been on this road so long, my tires bald. I don't wanna text and no, I don't wanna call. Came in this shit running, but you don't know how to crawl. We ain't never folding, I'm holding the highest card. Look, okay. Grew up running post routes, now I'm on the cash route. Better call the plumber, that boy spitting like a bass spout. All these bad women in this club, fuck is you mad about? Word to all my estheticians, boy I'm about to lash out. Straight from St. John's to the east side, jigging since the knee high. Watch the way I put on for my state, nigga, yeehaw. Respecting no Aretha, crazy how I made it to the league from the bleach eyes. Boy my shit hair wrong, black, rich and bare arms. Smoking on that yogi, this shit stronger than some bare arms. Goku, I'm in rare form, you cannot prepare for him. When I swing it's like a carnivore, this shit ain't fair for him. Brought intellect back to this rap shit. You niggas need chapstick. Shit been dropped for way too long and I'm the matchstick. You niggas Nickelodeon me. I'm more like Cap Nick. Cap a nigga, throw him in front of me. Party favors on the table, you can pick and choose. I would be lying if I said that I don't get confused. I'm just a player in the game and I don't pick the rules. Why trouble always seem to find the ones with shit to lose. About to blow like we just lit the fuse. We double dutch into this dough, I get this shit in twos. Push the button, get it started, put that shit in cruise. A little dust up on his heart, I barely get to use. A fool flatters himself, a wise man flatters the fool. Man, I just came to get it started like mechanics with tools. Cause in my hood, if you don't pack a tool, you planning to lose. These young boys deserve Oscars, they be acting a fool. A couple loose screws, but they hammer accurate. Ooh, I know some niggas stuck on drugs and manufacture it too. School of hard knocks, we all got our bachelor's. Food, no cap and gowns, but we all had the master. Party favors on the table, you can pick and choose. I would be lying if I said that I don't get confused. I'm just a player in the game and I don't pick the rules. Why trouble always seem to find the ones with shit to lose. I'm dumb lit, it's about to be a late night. Fresh rack, shawty, show me what it tastes like. Niggas know me in my city like I'm Wayne Wright. Got them looking up to me and we the same height. Ooh, I got it bad, leaving my bag. Foot on the gas, they cannot last. Swimming with the sharks, bitch, that's a great white. Never stopping, we don't even need no brake lights. Say she don't smoke, but she always smoke with me, yeah. Back with Finny, yeah, back up in the ovaries, yeah. All my ops, they stay running like they over easy, yeah. Even my masseuse can't just get too close to me, yeah. Shout out to Next. Soon as the ink dry, we count out the checks, yeah. I never flex. I bought up a business, you bought up a section. I'm at the top of my class, yeah. Y'all never learned from your lesson. Skywalker gave me the force, yeah. Turn this into an obsession, yeah. I couldn't wait on the team, cooking shit up with just me run play, yeah. Things never are what they seem, but we know the facts, yeah. Charging that shit to the game, but now I pull up with a battery pack, yeah. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, and we can just leave it at that. I'm dumb lit, it's about to be a late night. Fresh rack, shawty, show me what it tastes like. Niggas know me in my city like I'm Wayne Wright. Got them looking up to me and we the same height. Ooh, I got it bad, deep in my bag. Foot on the gas, they cannot last. Swimming with the sharks, bitch, that's a great white. Never stopping, we don't even need no brake lights. Big bro, why they call you big bro? Every time we hit the bank, we deposit zip codes. Well connected with the streets like we out in Skid Row.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Show. I'm your host, Mr. BJ Matthews, aka B Jizzle. Before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. All our YouTube videos, hit that like button. Y'all come in here. Hit the share, subscribe, hit that Cash App, $, Slick Rick 1991 Son, $, Slick Rick 1991 Son is our Cash App. You can reach us through that. Or if you guys do not have Cash App, go to our super stickers and super comments that are available. Very simple. All you guys got to do, hit that button right below in the right-hand corner. You guys can donate to the Pull Up Basketball Podcast by hitting that $ symbol, and you can donate your own discretion. Let's get it popping. All right. So, good news. I am feeling a little bit better. Still, getting some stuff out of me, man. Like some, cold. I think I caught the flu. I ain't gonna lie. I had a temperature yesterday, and I got some NyQuil, and I slept on that last night, and it really helped get a lot of this stuff out of my system, mucus and everything. So I am feeling a little bit better. I don't have the sniffles as much as I did last video, but we got another video right now, which we're going to talk about what transpired last night, but we're going to also talk about another subject about one of the players that deserves to have an all-star nod. And I think, I'm not so sure he's going to get it, but I think he definitely needs to be campaigned for it. And I think the person, I think y'all know who he is. But yesterday, the Clippers were able to defeat the New Orleans Pelicans down the stretch of the game. It was a very, very close game. It was a game that, we could have easily lost, especially with how many times we were down, throughout the, course of that game. The Clippers have won their third straight. I'm saying they've been very good on the road as of late, winning their last 3 or 4 games on the road, or last 2 or 3 games on the road. So I think it was a good thing that we had a chance to really kind of watch, us kind of, fighting claw, especially with, with the resurgence of Kawhi Leonard getting back on the court, projected to be on Saturday against the Atlanta Hawks. So I just want to say, good job by the Clippers by, continuously fighting and continuously clawing. So let's talk a little bit about last night, and we'll go into the subject at hand. The Clippers won 116-113 in New Orleans, who's struggling, 5 for 28. And let me just say this about New Orleans, man. They're a team that just has a bunch of people who either hurt or don't want to play. I mean, you look at their roster, they're missing not just Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram. Those are the 2 big ones, but they're missing Jose Alvarado, who's one of their pesky defenders who had a hamstring strain. But most of these guys, man, they have a bunch of guys who are just either trying to prove themselves, or, guys who are, rotational players that, just are kind of players that, for the most part, not to be rude, but teams didn't really want. I mean, Javonte Green, Brandon Boston was a player that we had, he was somebody that, wanted to prove himself, especially last night. You had Daniel Tice, another player that we had last year as well. Those are 2-3 guys right there that, are role players, that, teams are just, they're trying to find a, home somewhere. And New Orleans right now, the way they're struggling, not playing the way they're playing, it kind of, serves suit why they, are at least able to get minutes. As y'all come here, hit that like button. So I think, again, and the reason I say that, I think Zion Williamson, and I'm going to make a video about this, he needs to be gone from New Orleans. If I'm the owner or if I'm the GM of New Orleans, I think it's time to cut ties with Zion Williamson, because, guys, each and every year, and I think he's been in the league for like 5 years, 5 seasons, it's always been something with Zion's injuries or his weight. And it's a common denominator. It's something that in New Orleans, is just not working there for him to stay, and it's hurting his team. We're to the point where they can't ever get no type of continuity. They can't ever get to the promised land. They can't ever do anything because this guy's in and out the lineup, and that's what hurts a team. If you got a guy, your main guy, in and out the lineup, then it makes it hard for other players to kind of get their rhythm going. Brandon Ingram, he's about to be off the team, in my personal opinion, because he's looking at this like, man, like my other guy's not even, healthy, and, I want to win and I want to play, and I'm having to carry the load every single year because this guy is not either healthy or he can't play. So I think Zion Williamson is, a person that needs to be gone from the Pelicans. I think the Pelicans need to build around DeJounte Murray, who's their point guard, because he's going to be available. He's going to play. He plays both ways of the ball. And it's just not enough. I think they just need to go ahead and just let go of Zion and just build around DeJounte Murray. And if Brandon Ingram wants to stay, great. If not, then it is what it is. But they need to make a change. But that's all I want to say about New Orleans. Last night with the Clippers, we had a very, very, solid scoring game. As long as the players that came around and were actually scoring the basketball. Both sides actually shot the ball pretty well. I think New Orleans shot better than we did. New Orleans shot 51% from the field to our 47. 3-point percentage went to New Orleans 48-35. Free throw went to New Orleans 70-77. So all 3 categories New Orleans beat us out in. And the Clippers kind of, didn't really come suit to the second half. Rebounds went to, Clippers 40-35. Assists went to the Pelicans 24-30. Steals went to Pelicans 13-11. Blocks went to the Pelicans 5-2. Turnovers went to them. They had 16 to our 17. Fouls 14-22. Largest lead for them was 14. Ours was 4. So all in all, man, I think they had more of the categories, but I just think it more just came down to, when the, possessions happened, why it went our way over the Pelicans. As y'all come in, make sure y'all smash that like button. So that takes care of the team stats. The player stats, let's look at the box score real quick. So you had Derrick Jones Jr., Zubac, James Harden, Norman Powell, Chris Dunn in the starting 5. Coming off the bench, you had Nicholas Batum, Obama, Amir Coffey, Kevin Porter Jr. Those are the guys off the bench. So let me just say this real quick about some of these players, man. Let me start with the bench. Kevin Porter Jr. right now, man, is a wild card. He went 2 for 9 from the field, 1 for 2 from the 3-point line. He had a nice shot from the corner off of assist from James Harden, had 5 points. 4 assists, yada, yada, yada. He's shooting 41% from the field, 9.9 points per game, 3.6 rebounds, 3 assists a game. So KPJ is a player, man, that's a wild card in my opinion because, I think it's all set to say that we're not going to expect him to shoot efficient from the field. We're going to expect him to, have some boneheaded plays on the turnovers. We're going to expect him, not to, always make the best decisions, but there's some good things that he does bring. I think he does bring, transition play. I think he does bring speed. I think he does bring defense, especially off the ball. So I think we really got to understand who KPJ is. Like now, again, he's played with nothing but bad players or bad teams in his career. So he's never really played on a winning team when it comes to basketball. And that matters when you talk about IQ and decision-making, because if I'm playing for a team that's not really playing for nothing, or a team that's not playing to win or, have a, deep run in the playoffs, I'm like kind of just freestyle. I'm kind of playing pickup ball out there. And that's what kind of comes like KPJ's playing is pickup ball. You know what I'm saying? So I personally think that KPJ in the playoffs, I'm not convinced he's going to be a vital rotational piece. I don't think he's a player that you could say has, because we ain't seen it. And the playoffs is going to be a different animal. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because we have to start looking at what's going to look like in the playoffs. And I don't think KPJ is going to be much in the rotation in the playoffs because, I mean, his highs, and it's going to be depending on how the game is going. He can be very, very good and solid, or he can be just, horrendous, where it's going to hurt the team. So it's just going to depend how the game's going. But if you look at his raw numbers, 9.9 points, 3.6 rebounds, 3.0 assists, and 41%, that they're solid. They're solid numbers for a bench player. As y'all come and hit that like button. So that's KPJ. Amir Coffey, 21 minutes, 6 points, 4-4 from the field. Like I told you, I love Amir Coffey. I love his two-way play. He had 3 rebounds. Didn't shoot the ball much. Really, at the end of the day, Amir Coffey's production, is going to come off of him being able to score when he needs to score, and be able to, play tough defense. So I think Amir Coffey, like I said, is going to be in the rotation, especially in the postseason. He's proven to be not just a rotational player off the bench, but he's also proven somewhat to be a starter when guys are not playing. So there's no reason for Amir Coffey not to be in the rotation. Mo Bamba, I've seen enough of Mo Bamba, man. I don't think Mo Bamba is it. I don't think he's a player that's going to, cut it when it comes to the playoffs. I think he's a person that, is kind of like he plays in spurts, but he's not a person that's going to be consistent for us, man. I just think that's just, facts of it, man. He's not it. He's not it. Nicholas Batum, you already know what he brings to the table. Definitely going to be in the rotation in the playoffs. Smart player, high IQ player. Has some big, key plays down the stretch of the game last night. He had a tip, rebound to keep the possession alive. Like plays like that when you watch the game just shows you how important certain guys are. Because Batum is a high IQ player. Yes, he's older. He's not what he was about 2-3 seasons ago with us, but he still does have impact and experience, and he is able to understand how a lot of these guys play. So I think Nico is a player that is going to definitely be utilized in the postseason. Now let's look at some of the stars. As y'all come here, make sure y'all smash that like button. Chris Dunn, 32 minutes, 3 for 7 from the field, 1 for 5 from the 3-point line, 7 points, 6 assists. So I asked a question to Ty Lue last week, and I asked him about him playing point guard. And if y'all been seeing, they've been making Chris Dunn a lot of the point guard, having the responsibilities lying on him and the point guard. And the reason why they're doing that is because they want to take the load off of James Harden. So that's what I asked Ty Lue, and he said that's correct. You guys see the assist that he had. He had 6 assists. The reason why they're making Chris Dunn more of the point guard is to take the ball out of, James Harden's hands and give him more of, time off. So they are starting to see the impact that Chris Dunn could be as a point guard, or, a guy who could, at least bring the ball up and not have to worry about Harden, just having the ball in his hands all the time. Remember in the beginning of the season, they kept having Harden being the guy as the point guard. But now they've added Chris Dunn to the mix. They're using him more, to share the responsibility. So I think that's a good strategy to have. Chris Dunn's averaging 7 points per game, 3.6 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 44% from the field. So, once again, he's probably our best on-ball defender. I know Terrence Mann is there as well, but I think he's probably our best navigation on-ball defender because of just how consistently he does it. And he's mixed in with IQ and toughness. So I think Chris Dunn has those type of, what's the word? Attributes. So I like what Chris Dunn brings to the table. As y'all come here and smash that like button. So, I saw him last night guard point of attack as well. So I like what Chris Dunn brings to the table. Derrick Jones Jr., 11 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Of course, with him, the biggest highlights were those 2 corner dunks, driving baseline, separate possessions back to back. Derrick Jones driving baseline, getting those 2 dunks was, of course, his highlights. So, it's gonna be a question of who's gonna move to the bench once Kawhi gets back. Some people are saying it's gonna be Chris Dunn. Some people are gonna say it's Derrick Jones Jr. I think we can all agree that Norman Powell's not going to the bench, which I'm gonna talk to y'all about in a minute. But that's gonna be a question: who's gonna go to the bench? And I think it's a good problem to have, because now, not just that defense, the bench is going to be fire on defense. So I like what Derrick Jones Jr. brought yesterday. Let's go to, the next few players. Go to Ivica Zubac with 20 points, 16 rebounds, 9 for 13 from the field. I mean, what more can I say about Zubac? He's been absolutely incredible this year. He's averaging 15 points per game, 12 rebounds, 61% from the field. He's just been, on a mission, man. Like, he's another player I asked Ty Lue about last game. I said, is Zubac just really just, has he been like this, or has he been a player that, you're starting to see something different? And he said he's been like this. People are just starting to notice, right? And that's how it's been. Like I've told y'all before, since 2021, bro. This guy's been a very, very good player. You know what I'm saying? Even with the touches he's getting and the, opportunities getting to play, he's been like this. He didn't need he didn't need somebody to come in and try to make him who he is now. Of course, I'm not going to say it again, but James Harden's pick and rolls play does help Zubac. But it's not something that it wasn't a necessity, it was a luxury. You know what I'm saying? All it really takes is Zubac is just to him get the ball, and then he'll be able to do what he needs to do. So he's shooting 61% from the field, 4th in the league, 12 rebounds a game, 4th in the league, 15 points per game, 2.5 assists, all that good stuff, man. So Zubac, once again, just doing what he does at his matchup. So Those two, and then the last one, James Harden, with 27 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, was efficient from the field for the most part. From the 3, 6 for 14 from the field, 7 turnovers. You know, I think again, with James Harden, you have to kind of just, take what he is, man. Like, he's averaging 22 points from the 22 points per game, 6 assists, 8 assists, which is 7th in the league, 39% from the field. You just gotta take who James Harden is, man. The good thing about Harden does especially if the whistle's going his way, is that he knows how to draw fouls. He knows how to get free throws. He hit his free throws yesterday. He hit his 3-point shots yesterday, and it was a little sloppy with the turnovers, but I do think we were able to get the win, and I think it was he did do some good things. I gotta give him credit for that. But the guy I want to talk about, man, and the guy who I think should be an all-star is the guy on the screen right here, and that's Norman Powell with another masterful performance. 35 points last night. Let me look at the game log real quick as y'all come in here. 35 points last night. 48% from the field, 30 for 27, 33% from the 3-point line, 83% from the free throw line. 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals, 2 turnovers. 24 points per game, 3.3 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and 49% from the field. Y'all, Norman Powell yesterday, if you guys watched, is the guy that really saved us in that, the runs that New Orleans had. And this is why I say this guy deserves to be an all-star. Because, see, his raw numbers are cool, but I want to look at something else that kind of goes into the point where, certain guys need to be, edged in, and certain guys need to be edged out of who's, going to be in the all-star voting. If you guys watched last night's game, the Pelicans were somewhat pulling away from us, man. Like, they were up 14 points, as y'all seen. And, we have to look at, kind of, what was going on in the moment. New Orleans had the crowd behind them. They were, hitting shots. CJ McCollum had a big game as well. They were getting up and down the floor. And we needed somebody to stop the bleeding. And this ain't somebody that's just been doing it just one game and that's it, bro. There's multiple games that we were either about to lose or on the cusp of losing. And here comes Norman Powell with a big 3. Here comes Norman Powell with a big, like a play to the basket. Here comes Norman Powell with a big shot. That's what I'm looking at with, him. So without Norman Powell not winning that game last night, right? And he's been the most consistent. Him and Zubac have been the 2 most consistent players. I'm talking about from them doing their position, doing their jobs. Norman Powell's job is to score the ball and score at a high rate, and his job is to score when they need possessions. He's been flirting around 50% from the field throughout the entire season. It's 24 points per game as a guard. Do you guys understand what that means? There's nobody in the league that's doing that. No shooting guard. I'm gonna show y'all right here. There's no shooting guard who's even an all-star scoring 24 to 25 points per game at around 50% from the field. There's nobody doing that. So he's shooting the ball efficiently. He's scoring at a high rate. He's scoring when they need the baskets to be scored. There's no one else doing that in the league. So I'm going to go through the guards right here of, kind of compare and contrast what we're looking at. So, these are the guards right here on the Western Conference that can have a chance to be, the starters of the All-Star game. Now, these are the top 5 guys of each, all around. So let's just edge out the guys who I don't think should be there. Of course, DeMar DeRozan, he's not going to be there. CJ McCollum, not going to be there. Those guys are not going to be there based off of their popularity and based off of them just not, their team's not being that good. And that's another thing too. If your team isn't good and you're not winning games and you have a player who's neck and neck with you as far as the raw numbers, I'm going to give it to the guy that, has success with the team and who's been able to, have the bigger games. So that leaves, that leaves 8 players left. So we got Ja Morant, Steph Curry, Norman Powell, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker, De'Aaron Fox, Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Let's go with Ja Morant real quick. All right, let's look at what Ja Morant has been doing. He's averaging 21 points per game, 7.9 assists, 4.4 rebounds. All right. Grizzlies are a top 3 seed in the Western Conference. Now, Ja Morant's point production is down from the previous years. He's not averaging the points that he's supposed to be averaging. You know what I'm saying? So people may look at that, and if they don't watch the Memphis Grizzlies, say, well, Ja Morant's not putting the numbers up to be an all-star. Well, the thing about it is that he's actually taking a back seat to his game to allow other players to come out there and play. But Ja Morant is a player who, yes, he can be the face of the league. Yes, he's a player that a lot of people have put their stock in as far as, being how exciting he is to play. He's played 20 games this year out of the Grizzlies. What is their record? Let me go ahead and look at something real quick. I'm going to pull up their record real quick, y'all. Y'all 1 second. All right. So Ja Morant's played 20 of their 33 games, right? The Grizzlies right now, they're 22-11. So he's played 33. Like he's missed 13 of the 33 games that he has missed. So with that, another thing you got to do is be available. If your team is proven to win games without you, and this ain't nothing, no secret of Ja Morant. The Grizzlies throughout the last 3 seasons have proven to win games without Ja Morant on the court. So with that being said, that shows me it's just as about much as the system is placed around you, which with the Grizzlies has been defense and toughness and grit, as much as it is about you as an individual talent. Jaren Jackson's leading them in scoring as well, as if I'm not mistaken. They got young, pieces around Ja Morant. They have, good, rotational pieces. While Ja Morant, I wouldn't argue with him as far as popularity as, him being an all-star. I wouldn't put him in as an all-star this season. Based off, like I said, his availability. And like I said, like he hasn't really, there's other players who's just doing a little bit more than he's doing. But as far as the record goes with Memphis, they're playing at a high level. So, if we look at the voting in that instant, I would not choose Ja Morant there. I would take him out. Steph Curry, 22 points per game, 6.4 assists, 4.7 rebounds. Now Steph Curry, he's not having the best year scoring the basketball. The Golden State Warriors have, been a bad team as of late. Starting the season about a month ago, they were, rolling through the league. They're a top 3 seed in the Western Conference. But as of late, they haven't been playing well, and that falls on Steph Curry's back. Now, I will say this: Steph Curry is a player that is going to kind of get the preferential treatment because of who he is. But as far as his play individually, bro, I don't think Steph Curry deserves to be there, but he will be there because number one, he's Steph Curry. Number two, it's in Golden State. It's the All-Star game is going to be in Golden State. And like I said, not only is he going to be there, he's going to probably be a starter because if I'm not mistaken, the fans vote who's going to be the starter. So Steph Curry, based off of popularity, will be there. So I got to give Steph Curry, he's going to take that. He's going to have a spot reserved for him. Now it gets a little bit dicey. You got Kyrie Irving, Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker, De'Aaron Fox, Luka Doncic is SGA. Kyrie Irving is a player that I think has been as, if not more impactful than his, counterpart, his teammate Luka Doncic. And the reason I say that is like when we played them the last time, we played the Dallas Mavericks. You guys watched us against the Dallas Mavericks when they didn't have Kyrie Irving, right versus when they did have Kyrie Irving. And ever since last season, Kyrie Irving has, had a good performances against us. And, his first game back from, I guess injury, the Mavericks played us, and Kyrie Irving showed himself to be very, very effective. He shot the ball poor, 6 for 25 the other day, but he's been very, very good defensively. He was very good defensively that game. Right. So he's played 29 games this season. Of the Mavericks was 33 games. So he's only missed 4 games this season. So he has the relatively, amount of games to play. Like, he's been consistent. His statistics are very, very good. He shows his impact as a leader. He's been able to keep this team afloat. They're a top 4 seed in the Western Conference, and they've been winning without Luka Doncic, who's been hurt, a lot of the season. So I got to give Kyrie Irving, at least an opportunity. I would say he's more deserving than Ja Morant. He's more deserving than Steph Curry. So we'll have to see if he's going to be coming off the bench. So Kyrie Irving, I think he has an argument to be there. Based off, again, how he's leading the team, the Mavericks record, and his raw numbers. Once again, like I said, there's many different factors that go into who's going to be an all-star, who's not going to be an all-star. So I got to give, Kyrie Irving his respect there. He definitely has a case to be there. And he's much watched TV. That's another thing too. Are you a player that's entertaining to watch? And we all know Kyrie Irving is very entertaining to watch. So you got to give him, that nod. So then you got Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker, De'Aaron Fox, Luka Doncic, SGA. Anthony Edwards, man, of course, man, last year he kind of took off as a player that could be the face of the league, getting to the Western Conference Finals, yada, yada, yada. A lot of people feel like he's going to follow up this season with, a bang, and that's just been the complete opposite. The Minnesota Timberwolves have fallen in the standings. They're the 8th seed in the Western Conference. They were the 3rd seed last year. Now, of course, the standings are so close within each other that it really don't really matter too much. But, Anthony Edwards was a guy that was supposed to be continuously leading this team, and that's just, it's not been happening. Their record has not been, very good. Anthony Edwards has voiced his frustration with how things have been ran. So I got to say that, as far as that goes, there's not a lock that he should be there. Anthony Edwards, there's not a lock that he should be there. Now, what he does bring is the entertainment factor, the name, the notoriety. So it's a chance he will be there, especially if he can play the 2 position, because it's a combination of 1s and 2s. Anthony Edwards is a good chance he'll be there. Right? It's a good chance he will be there, starting as either the number 2 or coming off the bench. But does he deserve to be there? That's a hit or miss, because again, you can't, as bad as you are, and your stats are not really, your stats are good, but they're not enough to overshadow how bad your team performs. I can see if you're averaging like 30 points per game or something like that, and your team was, kind of like mediocre. Okay, now your numbers you can't deny him out the All-Star, but that's not the case. 24 points per game is good, but it's not like he's just, eye dropping. So I have to see more with Anthony Edwards. Devin Booker, I've been hearing Devin Booker has kind of been struggling this season. That just goes to show you how good these players are, man. 25 points per game he's averaging. You would think that's a pretty good, solid season that's an all-star year for like 95% of the league, a little more than that. But for whatever reason, people think that he's kind of went down, whether it be his field goal percentage shooting or what it may be. Devin Booker is not playing the level he should be playing at. And, I think it might have something to do with, him just playing as the KD. You got to remember, man, like when you are, known to be the number 1 option like Devin Booker has been before KD got there, you're not going to have the same light and target on you. Kevin Durant's one of the best players of all time, top 15, top 20. So you're going to have to, supplement your game for him. So I'm not so sure what people mean that it's, Devin Booker is just kind of just dropped so much, with his All-Star. But will he be there? It depends. He could be there because of his name and, the notoriety. He could be there. Does he deserve to be there? I don't know. I ain't watched too much of Phoenix to really know about them. Now, the Kings, De'Aaron Fox does not deserve to be there. He does not deserve to be there, especially with all the stuff surrounding the Sacramento Kings right now. He's having a good season as far as scoring the ball and his numbers. I think because of those big performances he had. De'Aaron Fox is not going to be there. I don't think he's going to make it. There's other players who have more of a bigger name than him. They're better teams. And I just don't think. I think he's just kind of, there's a sour taste right now around his name in the Kings. So I don't think he's going to be there, and I don't think he deserves to be there. And then so that leaves the last two players on the top, Luka Doncic, SGA, who are both just off of their names, based off of, the consistency of them, making all NBA teams consistently. The box office they bring, everything in a nutshell, man. It's kind of hard to cancel them both out. SGA, at least he'll be there for sure. You could argue he's the best guard on this list, on the best team, so therefore he has to be there. And then Luka Doncic, man, I gotta say this, man. Luka Doncic, it's a hit or miss. He could be one of those players that's dealing with injuries while he's not going to play. But as far as, him as a name and him as, he's definitely just going to be checked in there. But I think there's a chance Luka Doncic might not even be there. There's a chance he might not even play because he's out for a month, according to sources. He's only played 22 games of the Mavericks 33, so he's already missed 11 games. He's missed a lot of games this year. He hasn't been available, and they've been playing somewhat good even without him. And I've said this before, a guy like Luka Doncic, y'all going to see as time goes on and moves on that he does not play winning basketball. Right? So I don't think the All-Star game will suffer without him there. But, we'll see. So let me just go ahead and end it right here, man. Let me just say this about Norman Powell. So if you compare Norman Powell to all the guys I just named, if you say he's the two guard on the team, you got Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker. You know what I'm saying? Those are the two guys that are, kind of in his way. If you look at what they all do, their job is to score the basketball. That's what their job is mainly do. Anthony Edwards, he's a two-way player, so you got to give him more, grace. But for the most part, they're shooting guards. Everybody else, SGA, Luka, James Harden, Steph Curry, they're more of a point guard in the shooting guard's body. But as far as just what they're known to do, there's three guys on this list that are mainly their job is to score. And if you look at who's doing it the best and who's doing it the most efficiently, Norman Powell has outbeat Anthony Edwards and Devin Booker. Now, I know that's a little bit difficult for people to understand it here, but it's been the truth. Norman Powell's averaging 24.6 points per game off of 49% field goal shooting. I'm going to say that again. 24.6 points per game off of 49% shooting. That's something that we just don't see in the NBA. You don't see that happening. You don't see a player scoring at that clip. That just doesn't happen. And I'm watching the games. He's not just doing it throughout the, game, like course. He's doing it in the clutch moments as well. So there's something about Norman Powell that's proven to be like he wants a big contract. And the way he's playing right now, if he gets into this all-star voting, man, he could possibly ask for a max down the line. He can possibly ask for a max. Now, will he get it? It's going to be a huge, because this ain't something I ain't really seen before. A guy who's known for a bench role automatically being cascaded as an all-star player. And now he has a chance to not just be an all-star, but now it depends on the Clippers, gel and how Kawhi Leonard comes back. If they get a championship this year, and Norman Powell is a big, integral piece to that team, he can be in those talks, man. He can ask for a max. Because again, you gotta remember the NBA is a short shelf life, and I'm gonna say this again. This is why I do not get upset with players asking for and getting their money, because it's a short shelf life. You guys may think, oh, they're making enough money, bro. Let me tell you something. You can never make too much money. And it's not up to you to decide whether a player should, ask for too much or too little. Their whole job and the job of the agents to whatchamacallit, to negotiate the biggest price possible. You'd be a damn idiot not to negotiate the biggest amount possible. That's more revenue for your family, opportunity for you to whatchamacallit, get generational wealth in the whole nine. You would be an idiot to not ask for more money. So once again, Norman Powell, what he's doing, bro, is absolutely magnificent. Last night, even especially, he's just playing with a certain amount of confidence, where he feel like nobody can, do anything with him. And the more I'm watching, the more I'm seeing it's just not him. Just like I said, he's feeling inside of his soul like, okay, I deserve I can play with anybody. I can play with anybody, and that's what you need for a player of his caliber. Like I said, 24 points per game, 49% from the field, bro. There's nobody doing that. Nobody at his position is doing that. Hell, nobody in the league is doing that. Averaging 24 to 25 plus and doing it at a high efficiency, bro. That's something where you usually have to compromise one or the other. Like if you're scoring that amount with the basketball and you can ask to take that many shots, usually you have to compromise your percentage just a little bit. 44 to about 46%. If you compare him to other, shooting guards, the top shooting guards in the league, who are just basically there to score the basketball, they just simply don't bring that. They don't bring that amount of efficiency and scoring at the same time. I mean, look at Devin Booker. Like I said, 25 points per game. He's averaging a little more than Norman Powell. But he's shooting 43% from the field. Right? So one thing Devin Booker and Norman Powell do different. Norman Powell is a guy that's going to get downhill and get to the basket. He's playing like Devin Booker is more of a, mid-range shooter, catch and shoot or, pull up and shoot, something like that. But he's not going to get all the way to the rim. He's not a guy who finishes around the rim like Norman Powell does. So that may help a little bit more with Norman Powell with the explosiveness, and how he gets to the rim. But like I said, this is the cream of the crop at his position. And he's not even doing what Norman Powell's doing. That's why I tell y'all, I think Norman Powell should be an all-star this season. Now, will he get is a different story because he doesn't have the name. You know what I'm saying? This next month is going to be telling of, is he going to be an all-star? Because he got another month and some change to go. He has to continue to keep this streak of scoring going. I think Kawhi is going to be realized of that. I think Kawhi is going to be like, okay, all right, bro, you keep doing what you're doing, and I will just basically feed off of you. I think that's what Kawhi is going to end up doing. I think he's going to try to get Norman Powell into that all-star game. Right? So that's all I got to say about that, man. Let me know what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? This is the last day of the new year, man. I definitely appreciate y'all, for what y'all been doing. I might drop one more video. Actually, no, I won't. This will be my last video of the year. Yeah. This will be my last video of the year, man. Next video will be obviously going into the new year, which is tomorrow after the Spurs and Clippers game. So definitely appreciate y'all, man. Let's continue to make this, this year as, beautiful as last year, this last year. So I definitely appreciate y'all, man. Until next time, pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull up. Peace. Out of here like swimwear.